So with Mars square Pluto, it's not going to be as easy for tyrants and control freaks, your narcissist, to get their way. Usually in a Mars square Pluto, it's like gung-ho, but because Mars is in its own sign of Scorpio and then it's square its own ruler of Scorpio, Pluto, it causes a cleansing. It sees itself and it starts to help itself, and while it's helping itself, it's kind of like when you help yourself, your narcissist doesn't like it. They don't like when you get above the level that they're used to you being on. In fact, you would not have had a narcissist there in your life unless you had fallen low in vibrational frequency, and it's very hard to get back up. That's something that needs to be talked about a lot more amongst the realm of our humanity, that energetic phenomena that happens, and how that you have to let go of people from the past because they'll stick you to a negative vibrational frequency, only because well, everybody can do this. See, I think that if they just practiced music or handled higher learning tools more, which enables them to not hang on to the bad stuff. They know they made a mistake or something like that, or that the bad note is there, but they don't replay it over and over again. As far as the song is concerned, it wouldn't be a good song to hear or listen to if you hold on to the mistakes and the bad notes all the time. See what I'm saying? And I was never ever I've never had a problem with the law of attraction kind of thing, like say getting what you want versus getting what you don't want, and having a life that was unsatisfactory. I don't know what that is. It got kind of complicated and it's pretty weird now. I guess it's just a test for me, like it would be for everybody who's around 50 or 50 years old. It becomes a time where we have to figure out, like, are we living our best version of ourselves? And yeah, so, and it's nobody's business but our own, except for if people of the tribe, just people around you, elders perhaps, know what you're going through as far as the phases of life, and how it's actually a time, very positive time, because you're going to transform and get into a bigger self and a better version. Now it's just, yeah, it's rising up into your highest potential away from whatever it was you were doing in the past. Pardon me, I was holding my rock here. It's tourmaline, and it's good for the body that suffers from radiation poisoning, and most of us do if we're bombarding ourselves with the cell phones or even these laptops, and then they have Elon Musk, the whole thing. I figure we are wearing the wrong clothing. If it's just cotton clothing, we should be wearing vests of igneous and different metals that repel off that stuff. And so anyway, but see now, lo and behold, I wanted to talk a little about the entity called the narcissist, which its vibrational frequency and the way that it operates knows no boundaries. Like, it doesn't matter what gender, it's the same within all genders, races, ethnicity, and even financial bracket. Money only enhances a character if it's there, and if it's that narcissist who is largely, basically, this is the way it all is, all of them are. They have a propensity to want to control people. They do that through manipulation, and it's not good because they are coming from a place of deceit and deception. See, there are perhaps manipulators and control freaks that they're not happy and they get enraged when people don't do things right. And what I mean is that, see, they'll have a propensity to control. You won't tell it's happening. Really, they make it your idea. Why? Because when the warrior wins, everybody wins. It's just people that knows the better way of doing something. And if you want a better result, it's kind of like the teacher, right? It's supposed to teach us the right way to do something somehow. So, you know, there's that spectrum where you see that, of course, we need to manipulate in order for people to kind of, it just reminds me of like there's a gear there, and then now you're trying to feed something in to get it caught and to start taking up information or something and getting the right feed so that when it comes out again, it's the right feed. Which, what is the right feed, Shauna? What is it? The truth about things. And as far as that is concerned, kids, it's not even Sunday, but I'm here to tell you that the truth is the same for everybody. And that's another thing we can probably debate about so you can understand what we mean with that. And it includes other people's truths that are unique to them. They all have the same quality too. The truth about them, it's the same for them. See, it's just a very simple thing that we're saying, but you wouldn't believe how confused everybody is, especially your narcissist. And here's why. It's because they don't factor in outer space and or reality in order to just contain the truth just fine. You're not, your mind isn't responsible for that. My mind isn't responsible for that. We all have a duty to surrender into that field and catch it in case the kids were watching, and then convey out a truth or celebrate it however you think about it or can do it. So anyway, God, thanks for listening, like, and subscribing. I'm going to continue on with who I really am. And apparently, okay, so with the Mars square Pluto, I'm having to stand up and push back against these people who are, okay, we're talking about these toxic kind of people. They can be non-self-reflective, very much so. And then, so therefore, they're kind of selfish because they're not really there for you. They're there for themselves, right? And oh, highly argumentative. And then they're going to accuse you of being argumentative. Of course, the standard is how that when you finally react to how like bizarre they are and maybe boundaryless and unethical in a lot of ways to this, to a human being, when you feel the awkwardness there, you start to get quirky, right? You start to get impatient. You start to get, now you could even get angry and snap back at them. They just look at you and think, ah, it came out of the blue, and that now they're going to, of course, the classic is to accuse you in argument, argue about that you're the one who's totally screwed up, right? And that's like, bah, you know what I mean? I don't know about you, but as long as you're not emotionally invested or invested in any way, shape, or form, the problem is with your communal narcissist and or gift giver narcissist who they're giving gifts to you, making you feel obligated, kind of. You know, it's a natural thing that would happen between men and women, that when a man brings a woman what she needs continuously, when he does that over and over again with hardly even displaying any problems at all, he's just shut up and he kind of looks and says bye, and then brings something else she actually needs, especially vital to like her present life. You know, now she, something spontaneously happens and he comes and patches it up or something. It's just natural that she eventually is going to ask, oh, so do you want something? Because, well, usually it's sex, right? And the place of sex is hers. See, her sexuality is the single most valuable thing that she can possibly own. And I think some people unsubscribed when I started talking about this, and it's like, that's too bad because, well, I mean, who knows why, but when it comes to that delicate subject matter, a lot of people, we're not talking about it enough, especially with women. I don't relate with the women who aren't empowered about their sexuality, and especially the ones who are empowered, but they're taking it to the point of manipulating men into them, and what have we with the money, probably, and especially, okay, so involve having kids. I've seen it too much where people are having kids because it gives them a little bit more money. The government will pay them for having had the kid, namely the women. You know, I don't want, I mean, it's none of my business because, of course, I did not. This is a bigger piece of tourmaline. It protects against negative energy. It's none of my business, and I'm kind of a bystander. I'm for the kids, And I haven't seen it turn out very well. I've been observing it for way over 40 years now, but the last 25 has been a hell of a doozy, because that's when, well, by the time the kid is 18, if they didn't run away already, they are supposedly on their own, but a lot of them might not be. Maybe they're caught up in some things that, it's none of my business, right? I mean, I wish the best for everybody, but it's his observation, and I've heard more times than not that from mothers. I'm sorry, why am I talking about this? This is a fucked up subject matter, right? Because we wish it was just all peaches and cream, but it's difficult. My mom had a terminal illness by the time I was 11. She was wheelchair bound. Um, I can't say that person was a narcissist, like a southerly narcissist kind. No, people that get handicapped can display tactics that are coming out of the way that narcissists operate, but see, that's where we get kind of shades of gray and a fine line between that and that, right? See, there's real life handicaps where narcissism can come up and people act that way, and then, but then again, no, she practiced love, and she had love in her life throughout the whole time. It was amazing. She got rid of what would be a toxicity in order for her to keep her what she really needed, or out of the relationships in her life. And she just had a knack with men. It's nothing that I do have. I me and her are completely different. It has nothing to do with the way I was raised or anything, really. I know that people would like to blame their parents and their conditioning, but really, if you look at your chart, it's like that's the way you're handling things sometimes, and you could be just dealing with some major karma that maybe it is ancestral, and some are worse than others. There's level to this stuff. I'm telling you, when I see T squares and grand crosses and stuff, it's like, whoa, this is a part of the faction that I am realizing that I don't know that. See, I don't know the T square or the grand cross thing, which is very testing. It's karma. It's the pits. If you ask me, you can feel their quagmire a lot of times, but it's, again, it's none of my business. And really, if the truth is these people are strengthened, right? The cross and the T square represents like almost like a structure. It requires people to really be sharp and to know their shit. So most likely, see, if they've gotten through it, they're able to teach us something. But it's very rare to find like a Mars square Pluto, or a square to those planets that take a lot of discipline anyway to manage their energy. It's rare to find one that is disciplined enough that is actually helping society. I mean, there has to be some kind of miracle that astrology will reflect. It's like, well, now it's shifted into a trine, and they are completely open and using that blindsidedness to their benefit. With the Mars square Pluto, which is in the sky right now, it's hard for the entity to not reach for like tyrannical ways of manipulating and being extreme. The worst for the worst kind of narcissist can appear, who, of course, they're a control freak. And also, they're very untruthful. It's just that they're blindsided. See, their physicality, Mars, is not really interacting very well with the God part of our physicality, which is Pluto. And so it's kind of a blind side. They have a hard lesson with it, whether it's like of an actual truth that just backfires in their face, that they just didn't realize that the physics of things, and it hurts them, an accident happens, or it's mainly in their personal relationships. See, that's the main thing, is in our personal relationships, where we'll see how that they can be very messed up. And right, so with people that desire to control other people, it could be a trap. It's a sensation of like there's a cult around them. It's either their way or the highway. It's just like it's a parasitical entity right there. It's not human yet, but found a way to get a supply, which mainly it's energy, which is attention, mainly is attention, right? Because with attention, like if you just have enough eyes on you and people doing that, then they get whatever they need into them, like a baby, right? It's not a bad idea. You should have a community, but see, these people are manipulative and deceptive. And if it comes to growth of any kind, they're not going to allow it. It's always directed into them that they get energy that feeds their insecurity and their, I guess you call it a black hole. When you look into it, it is a black hole. If you're somebody, see your narcissist and or just in general narcissist, they never work a subject matter very well. It's not a very good example. Like if it's plumbing or carpentry, it falls apart later on. Otherwise, people that are with integrity that really innovate and think on their own and see, yeah, and if it's music, it never really inspires the children or the child in you. There's always something in the background, if you're not drunk, that you wonder, there's just something off about it. Like, did you know you don't know how to sing? I mean, you're tuning your guitar and everything, but now when it's time to tune your voice, you can't, I don't know, but they insist on singing. Just a lot of stuff like that that people will notice. Like, not everybody would agree that it's very good. Too many, see, they don't get like a large number of followers. They get a kind of a same amount. They usually have what they call, that song comes to mind, chain, 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 chain of fool, um, chain of fools, which it just means in the back end, see in their backstory, like if you look at what's really going on, they use people and they discard them. Especially, it happens that people find out that they're not playing fair, they're not very hardy, it's one-sided, they're selfish. Then they have, and they're being used also and exploited. They have an exhaust of a bunch of people flying out that are extremely hurt, and because they've been disenfranchised and their dream broken, because these people, your narcissist, do not know how to work with other people very well. They don't know how to play well with others. Now, these people also will have a facade. I hope you like this. I'm actually getting into to help people. But I'm recently being handled by them, and I'm like, wait a minute. I know what's going on, and I guess I just have to stand up for myself, even though I'm alone. And it's easy. It just takes a little energy, and you have this conversation with them, which they think that you're arguing when really you're just making statements, and they aren't handling it. They don't like for you to be you. They don't like, they want your confidence knocked. They admire it, but they kind of want to knock it. They're playing a game because they're kind of sick that way. They're an elephant in your china shop of any kind of truth that you represent. Yeah, they're not looking for that. They're looking to break people down or to be used in a certain way. If they feel threatened, they're going to try to discard you before anything ever started. And all you can know and to detect is that there's somebody there that's very fearful. They're operating. They're afraid. What it's really called is it's paranoia, extreme paranoia. See, I have fire going there. And they do project. See, this is one of the things I was going to talk with people about if they're at all on my Facebook and they are not really in my life. Let me tell you what. When I say this, don't take it personally. No, I know I'm not mixed up where my life is. I'm in reality here, and I own a home, and I have a piece of property. There's a lot going on with me. People aren't visiting me. They aren't in my life. That's what I'm saying. Somebody took offense to that when they came to my door, and I was trying to say things, but apparently they didn't have the time, so it turned into this weird standoff thing, because I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to be treated like that. You're on my property now. I think you should remove yourself. And they shouldn't take any of it personally. Just like I can't take them personally, but I think it needs to be reset for me. See, because I'm isolated, hermited, I don't have people coming to me at all. No, I know if you're in my life or not. I'm not mistaking that. I get on social media because I'm reaching out to people. We should be in each other's lives. We shouldn't hide away. We shouldn't stuff things down. I mean, maybe people can use our expression. Oh, sorry, on and on and on, but I'm a live performing artist. I play music mainly, but then really, I know that it's our everyday. We're characters in a play, right? And the stage is set already. So in it, I do play. Well, I'm not sure if it's music that I play anymore. I did have a venue and I can put a show together that's just musical, but I'm thinking of doing stand-up comedy and integrating some of my music with it, like I've been kind of doing here, and I'm hoping to calm down because I get a few donations into me. I doubt it, you know. I say that because it just ruins my potential, right? Everybody doesn't trust what I'm going through. They don't really know what I'm up to. And it's like, it's the same. Well, basically, it's the same with you. Did you know that we are still staggering in this quagmire of, I was about to say, having to work for money to get the basic things into us that everybody has to get into us, whether we know it like it or not. It's like, well, it's good to have that electricity. It's good to have your communications up. It's good to have food. It's good to have water. Well, I say that a free people has all of that operating for free because now freedom means responsibility. A lot of people aren't trusting that when I get hostile and angry at them, that it's coming from a legitimate, like, first of all, I probably lost my patience. And when somebody loses my patience, I probably was having patience for you for the longest time. And it could be subtle. With some people, is that I'm being present with them, but they're not really being present with me. Not even when they're coming and being present with me. It's weird, right? And it's just dwindled off for me more and more that, well, okay, so I have absolutely nobody in my life. So I'm coming from that standpoint of thinking, well, really, no, we're not obligated to each other. You're not in my life. I'm not in your life. Why do I have to bend over to you just like you don't have to bend over to me? I don't know. Find out where I'm coming from at least. And so anyway, with that, having said that, most likely whoever comes to my door um, is projecting on me because they're not really there to find out what's going on. If they just rub their eyes and go, whoa, whoa, I see what's going on, maybe kind of. I'm kind of predictable. I move with the seasons. I've been trying to do that. I mean, I'm somebody who grows medicines, I guess you'd say. I used to have a big garden in the past. I stopped doing that because people stopped kind of coming over and they don't want to. And, you know, I don't want to hear why they think that that has happened because they can only pick up on negative things. It's like, yeah, maybe I did fall and get negative, but where were you people? You guys are only fair weather friends? Most likely, if you're a narcissist, the answer is yeah. They don't know how to handle your actual human, deep down soul like problems and connect with things like they have yet to get theirs kind of a feel. They do get theirs, and it's weird because, you know, it's like, well, what did you learn? Did you learn anything good, or is it just that it took your spirit away and you forgot what you lost, which is your inner child, and now you're doing a grab with everybody else? I don't know. Find a higher learning tool, get in your body, start making yourself feel good. And anyway, wow, what a hell of a video, really, because I'm beginning to see what's happening with me, and I can't stop now. It's like, no, I'm not mistaken. Until I get a community of people around me that I can see them and they can see each other, I have nothing but people coming to my, especially if they come to my door. And it's like, wait a minute, whoa. Especially right now, it's like, I'm like, whoa. I get shocked, especially when it's unannounced. Even if it's somebody from my past. See, if you're somebody from my past, most likely what I'm saying is we have not been talking, not in 10 years. I think it's been 12 or 13 that I've been isolated. Even before then, it's around about 20 years that I've been living in isolation. I was with my grandmother, and it was hard towards the end, towards her end of life process, which I think is just normal that we kind of, people aren't there because we're having a hard time and it's depressing. And this is the way it works, you fucking narcissists. Even with animals, healthy animals, they isolate and they lick their wounds or they get over their illness and they don't expose themselves to other people until they get better. That's what we're doing when we're isolating and we're alone. And it's tough being hit by people that are not handling you well and they don't know your story, and maybe they're operating in a way that it seems harmful to even to themselves, right? And so just sometimes you don't get along with everybody. I don't know what to tell people, babes. But it's happening now where, okay, so Mars square Pluto, it's kind of gonna show how that people are different from people. And so, but who is capable of just enjoying that difference? And who's really taking it so seriously that they can't understand it? It's like, no, it would be boring, right, if we were all the same. And maybe our differences complement each other. The main thing is that if you're unable to be yourself or change and be, like, I'm talking about change from one minute to the next. There's a falsity that people think that you have multi-personality. Like you just have to be like one kind of vibration. No, I'm here to tell you, as an alive human beings have many different, like, caricatures or moods or personalities per day, like 175 of them. It's the one who assumes the position when they're driving the vehicle, and now they're going to yell at somebody in the traffic, and there's one that it's in the smooth traffic, and there's a personality that is the one that's getting out to get the gas, and there's the one, right? You hear what I'm saying? There's the one who's answering the phone away from the gas tank because they don't want it to blow it up. So we're assuming different characters, like liquids, we're kind of rising and falling very much like a live little feather in the wind. Only psychos and sociopaths and narcissists, they can feel like this same frequency, and pretty soon you're walking on eggshells about that. Um, First thing you'll notice is there's a bully there. There's somebody who wants control over every living soul, and your spirit also. So hopefully the only reason why you're dealing with these people is that, well, did you go to work and that there's a bunch there? Maybe your boss wanted to be with, but you're making money, you have to be there, you're exposing yourself, but you don't have to stay there. You do your job and you leave and you get your money. See, so there you don't have to be too invested, but you are kind of invested, right? You're spending time doing a lot. A lot of people say that that's a dead end job. First of all, because it's not your business and you are working for the man, and boy, if it feels bad enough, then you're definitely getting your soul sucked out of you. But a lot of people are like, well, but the money was good, so I stayed. So see what I'm saying? Or another scenario is that, oh boy, did your mom or dad turn up to be that? Your brother, somebody turned up to be a tyrant, a total fucking nightmare, and you are under their control. Well, back to the scenario of the 16-year-olds running away before they turn 18. When you turn 18, just notice how basically they forgot about you when you were 5 because you started getting a mind of your own, and if they couldn't control that and subdue you and start controlling your mind, they had difficulty with you the whole time. Most likely they'll see, a lot of the scenario is, and a lot of people don't like this talk. See, this is the worst way to get back at them, is just to tell them the way it is. Most of the time what they do is they stunt the children, the growth of their children, and those children end up being dependent on them for the rest of their lives. They're just clinging on, and everybody there, especially the kids, I think, really, right, because they're being controlled into their money, most likely. That would be the number one way that I could think of that they can do it. Otherwise, food, perhaps. They don't even know about money, but they're like, where do I get my food? Talk about stunting the growth, right? No, I've seen it. What I was telling you in the beginning, I've seen it plenty of times. Women to their little boys, and the boys are trying to grow up and to be men, and I could see it was around about 16 or so they would get stunted. Usually a woman that's performing emotional incest on their child is the narcissist. She's there because she couldn't form a good emotional bond with the man because, well, he was a narcissist, and it would kind of just undermine out from under her. So she turns around to her little boy, age 3, and forms an incest. Emotional incest. She kind of forms that emotional connection with the child because she couldn't form it with the man. And we see that a lot of the time. See, that ruins his life, because the truth is you should take little boys away from their little mothers as early as possible, because she could ruin his life by way of, if it's a narcissist there, if she's, okay, if it's a narcissist and it's a woman, usually it's coupled with psychopathy. That's the rule in psychology, because she's in position of power here, and that's a psychopathic person who doesn't care how their life ends up through their influencing and their rule. And that also includes other men, how she can bring them into him and manipulate his mind. But see, none of this works out for any of them. They all stay in hell. And the outcome of what winds up of their children, like I say, a lot of the times the children don't know any better, especially the ones who are in codependent connection with them, that maybe they try to get away, but they keep ending up back there because the money is good or something, which it's not, right? It's called breadcrumbing. I mean, God, eventually, somehow, some way. It's really tough out there. See, the system wants everybody glommed up like that. And I say, why don't you guys start holding on loosely to your family, which is a dead-end road. Mothers and fathers, that's a dead-end road. I was trying to tell you, I'm the one who dares tell you, and dares losing some subscribers, but the more hardy ones will say, you'll use your own intelligence to say, no, that's true. The highest role that you can possibly become to one another is simply a good friend. Yep, either your mother, your father, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your cousin, your dentist. Well, no, not the dentist over there. She might not be human. See, we're talking about just becoming human and becoming a good friend towards one another. Love achieved. See, your judge, your aunt, your store clerk down the road can end up being simply a good friend. That's the highest possible role that we can become to one another. And furthermore, I would say, as a spiritual guru, to teach you, like, well, how do you know when there's a friend there? Well, that's kind of a trip, but see, you just notice them after a while. You'll notice, well, you're here, and then you care to invite them deeper into you. You say, well, we have this. Usually you have something between you. You meet there every single day, and you're like, we seem to like this water fountain that has extra alkaline, and I see you, and it's like, hi, friend. What else are you into? Because I like that too. Maybe we can share something more. It takes 2.5 years to figure out that you actually have a friend there. Of actually trying to, just noticing the presence they are being, and that you can be with each other. It doesn't have to be that you stay at the water fountain and it's like, well, that was my water fountain friend. Or it can, it's your choice really after that. See, but you don't have the choice about who is here and who ends up being there. You really don't. You have a choice as to whether or not you want to allow them in deeper, or to keep it on that surface way, and that just depends on the way you communicate with each other. And none of this has to do with manipulation, by the way. Nobody is fucking mind-boning each other. You just notice things. So this is really important to start defining this. Also, a friend. See, your friend is love achieved. There's two types here. I keep trying to tell you in general, babes. We can talk about this. See, your guys aren't really friends if you're not letting each other be who you are through and through, even when you're down. See, friends will leave each other alone when they become down. They just don't want to burden that person, not really, and that person doesn't really want the burden. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Hopefully you can pull up out of it and then realign to your friends. See, were they friends to begin with? If they aren't available to you after you fall down and after you pick yourself up, like, were they making themselves available throughout it? And like, did they know that you were going through transformation? Were they able to help you through it? Did they actually start kicking you down? Did they run away? Who knows? It's a whole different bunch of things that can happen. I'm noticing just straight up fake friends, right? There's fake people, so they can be fake friends. I don't know. I mean, comment section down below. It's something we've been looking at for not just the last 5 years, but that kind of grew into a play where it's like, did your friend end up wearing a mask, and are they still wearing a mask? Really, it's people, the fake people who are wearing masks, and you see it drop, and you notice, oh, no, you were never here for who I am. and how I am. You can care less about my life. You're here for what you can get from me. And so then if you can't get from them that, right, if they can't get that from you, then you see who they really are, their true colors. They're not really there to make sense out of any moment, but they have their insatiable need, as if they are a narcissist or just the abused little child that's looking for a plug of energy. They want attention, they want supply of energy. That's really what it is. Some people are in deficit of getting a feeling for themselves, a feel of themselves. They can only do it through other people, which is almost interesting and fascinating, but it's actually kind of a drag and dangerous because there's nobody really there if you're interacting with these people. I mean, see, I have a knack for reading that kind of energy. All my life is because I'm kind of independent. I'm working my own interests, and if other people are there, then those are my friends who we work those interests together, perhaps, and we share, and something can come out of a project, But recently, see, you can waste your time with people who aren't really doing that. It could be 15 years that you finally realize that, what, this person is not really meeting me halfway. I'm working for them, they're not working for me, period. And that could be something that comes up. It's going to come up for all of humanity. I am humanity. Wow, minute 36 talking about something. I'm not an isolated incident. If I sit all alone in my little cove here, I know where I am. I know who I am. I know why I'm here, and why it should be that I attract more. I don't want these single people coming over here unless they can meet up with each other. See, a lot of them are very different than each other, in that, I don't know, perhaps they're not coming from the same place. See, I'm attracting some demonic shit, and I'm trying to work with it, and I'm trying to heal it. I don't know if it's either that, or did you just go peachy keen and you got a fucking 9x9 cinder block room and you're just freeing yourself from the responsibility? Really, it's the freedom to see what's going on around here. If you really have something in spirit, if you really did achieve something as love, in love, through love, as yourself, if you are achieved, watch what comes and tries to challenge you and even tells you that they love you. Yeah, but it's not love, period. And you only wish they would stick around to get a feel for who you are, because then they would get a feel for what true love is. See, the thing is, if you achieve love, if you achieve that vibrational frequency, which is the highest octave of being, it's actually just being present to this moment now. And you can really become a magnet and a danger to a lot of people who don't do that kind of life. And it's like, so what? Stay away from them and stay in your sanctuary, and the people that are meant for you will align with you. And it's very intense. You have very intense, meaningful, deep, soulful relationships. However short or long the contact, you have it no other way. Comment section down below if that's the kind of person you are. That's the kind of person I am. And see, we have a lot of energy. We have a lot to give. And that's why I get on here, as I'm kind of giving to you. Some of it, I'm doing it through ignoring my own needs not being met, and also being pummeled by entities who are stealing from me. Bottom line, they want my energy, they want my attention. And it's like, for what? You're not even reflecting. See, I call it your narcissist's world, the fucking favorite subject matter that you love, and I don't like it, but there they are. I've been observing it all my life, but you don't get entangled with them. Recently, I've gotten kind of inside of an entanglement, and it's amazing how that they don't take responsibility, right? They can't be held accountable. They won't hold themselves accountable. They've got a lot of karma coming, by the way. With this Mars-Pluto transit, it's going to start to jigger them. They're going to see that they can't really exude the control and power over people, not like they used to. They're going to get a little bit of a pushback. They're going to find somebody standing up to them. See, my most recent one is a couple people really is that they, in the past, when we were trying to do work together, the problem that we had, that they keep telling me that I go hostile and I'm angry and enraged. It's like, no, if that's happened, babes, with me and you, I don't have a perfect life, and I can't say that I'm all that steady, but no, when we're working together, and I'm getting frustrated with the people that I'm working with, most likely we're clashing somewhere else. Most likely you actually disrespected me somehow. You probably aren't meeting me halfway. Most likely you're just not meeting up to my standards. And when I'm saying this, I'm talking about it, for example, is my music playing. I do have an ability to put something together that is astonishing, and people will not forget it. And that's the thing that we will keep bringing for until death do us part, you see, is we keep playing it the same way, and they keep trusting it'll be the same way. And it's like, that's faith for you right there, even though it seems boring for people, but that's your song. A really good song is something you know it's coming next, and you dance to it, and you sing to it. That's your Led Zeppelin, that's your bands out there that faithfully kind of get up and they kind of play it the same way on stage. They really do. I mean, really, I disagree with always playing it exactly the same. Otherwise, just put the tape on and play it. But at least go along the same ley lines to where people can dance to it and remember, and that's what they heard, and put the same lick in, and just say, and just to pretend like you've been doing it on purpose this whole time. Anyway, yeah, with music, I can tell you that how I know how it can be working with them or really not being able to work with them. See, they're not playing music, they're really playing their egos. It's the same with every subject matter, though. See, they just found that music is like a no-brainer because they want attention and they want all eyes on them. So it was like a no-brainer to try and learn music because it gets all the attention. So there's a difference between actual musicians playing music and then the narcissist who has picked it up and who is really trying, and they tend to work really hard on something, but it's not with other people, but they attract other people. See what I'm saying? And it's just like with anything else, though. Um, See, if they really want you in their life, they probably won't if they don't learn the music, they'll try to learn something that you're doing, which if it's butterfly, if you are breeding butterflies, all of a sudden, see, with their resources, they'll go and get a, pardon me, the stuff and they'll start growing butterflies, and they'll do it along with you. You know, they're like, you know what, I am a butterfly grower too. And then, but see, when it stops garnishing attention from you or anybody else, they'll just throw it out. They're not interested in the butterfly collecting, not at all, not in the least bit. It's matter of fact, it kind of didn't. I'll take that back. It didn't turn out very well. They did some of it, but in the end, they started dying, and it just vanished off into the distance because they're not really being present to any subject matter but their own deficits deep inside, which is highly insecure. Just a little baby toddler there that was taken away, stripped of its own sense of self. A very poor sense of self is there. If it's there at all, it's very poor. Otherwise, there's nobody there at all. And so you can begin to kind of see like their approach, especially if you're down and out. See, these people that have been coming to me only because they hear me. It's so unfortunate because they hear me crying out for help. And really what it is, it's like, well, maybe I'm going through a transformation and I want to get up and I want to get level up. And I need better people in my life. I need those people in my life that are going to be involved with that transition. And they're just not here right now, or they don't understand. See, they didn't understand anything before about me, so I ended up alone, and they're not going to understand. See, the trip is that I've been so alone now. When they come to my door, it can only be projections unless they're quiet enough to say, Shauna, what's happening with you today? Would you like to go sit on those chairs over there? They look at them like this because those are the chairs from my past. Like, sure, let's sit on my old rickety lawn chairs, yard furniture, and let's spend time together. See, my complaint is that you people, in general, people, especially with me and whatever we're doing, if it was the music in the past, no, you're not working on it long enough. You're not spending enough time with each other. And a lot of people, I understand, you have to work. But no, that's not a good excuse. That's not really a good excuse. If you're spending whatsoever time you have together, can't you be 100% there and respectful and do a back and forth? The answer with your narcissist is a 100% no. They aren't meeting anybody. They are not really meeting anybody. You're either in or out of their like arena, but it's more like they're like gaslighting. I don't know. They need people to support them energetically in a way that most likely you don't. Who are you? Well, maybe you're like me. Maybe you have your own agency. Maybe you have your own conversation. Maybe you're an Aries rising. Maybe you're an Aries sun. Maybe you are basically, another way to put it is that you have your own confidence. You have your own steam and you do act independently, but you know how to share and you know how to give. And you notice these people who are falling a little bit short of all that kind of thing. And you notice how that they approach you only when you're down. That's no good. Because when we start to dust ourselves off, we're dusting you off now. Because it's like you couldn't get close to us when we were up and in our play mode and we want to play. And, well, you can't really come up to our level of interaction and playing and being there for each other. We're putting 110% in. You're saying that you don't have the time, you got to work tomorrow, and it's like, well, I don't get it because you're whenever you're available, you should just be, and especially if you can't really make it, well, do a condensed version of yourself. Do a condensed version of everything then. I do, I figure, well, these people don't have the time, so I'm really going to be there like a condensed version. Here's my baby. How about you, Chihuahua? I'm going to go get her some food. Anyway, I hope I kind of helped some people here just to reflect on what you're dealing with out there. It could be rearing up and like what they call it is blossoming, but no, it's not blossoming. It's rearing up right now. It has already blossomed and got away with a lot. But with now, see, Mars hitting that Pluto, it's testing everybody. And see, it's testing you as an empath or just the human being, love, to stand up for yourself, to say, no, actually, just tell it like it is, say what you have to say and stand back. And if they think it's an argument, that's not your problem. Narcissists think that being clear and communicative is arguing. And it's like, no. You'll know when we start to argue when it starts to get to where that we're not getting along, I guess. But see, they don't get along with a lot of stuff. People, they generally they are faking their camaraderie with people. They are faking being human with people. They will do things that allures them in and keeps them held captive about things. It could be anywhere from, say, like money. Whatever their money can buy, they will manipulate people over it, into them, about it. And it's not really doing it as a friend who says, wow, I noticed that we share the same interests. No, because they don't have the same interests that you do. Not with any one subject matter are they handling it the same way that you are, if you're actually interested in that subject matter. And then it starts garnishing attention because you have reached inspiration, in fact, that is inspiring other people, even children. See, they can really confuse the children out there because it's like, but then they can really, when they're held hostage, do those children have any choice at all but to go along with their mediocrity, their version of something, whatever it may be, even especially like the worst is just the ones that are using the stencils. They are doing the compulsory suggestion that it's not their idea, it's the book's idea. From religion onto your music playing and into the food that you're cooking, everything. And a lot of that, as you know, needs to be purged of the schism. Somebody doing something wrong with it and saying this is the way it should be, and it's taking the nourishment out of it, or it's making it even more impossible or poisonous, like when they tune the tuning of music to the wrong frequency, and it's like, yeah, you're playing it the right way, but it's not actually healing you because you don't know that that one tone of the 432 or the 528 isn't the actual 432, it's the 444 and it's the 512 or something like that. And it's not healing you right. It's not really giving you a good constitution. It's not building a foundation within you, so you can't communicate with that thing because there's something wrong with it. So anyway, minute 50, and I hope you like this video. I'm going to put this up on the 23rd, which I made this on the 22nd, so I'm kind of making it kind of close. On the 24th and 25th, there's an exact square to Mars and Pluto. And I don't know about you, but I do know some people up close that do have that cusp degree. And all I have to say is that, boy, if they're unconscious, and so they have karma coming with Pluto to begin with. Pluto has been ripping them another ass. They've been getting experiences that they can't control. A lot of it can be death, people dying around them. And so now with Pluto hitting Mars, Mars hitting Pluto, whoever's being aspected by that Mars, I can't imagine the feeling, because it's actually where Pluto is with the degree that it has been hitting, that 1 and 2 degrees going backwards, they're getting like a third whammy, and it's usually the most humbling. It's actually the one that says, there, it's final and you've learned your lesson. You're not going to be a certain way. It's just fucking basically taking one of those meat hammers, you know, with the spikes, and just turned you into something softer and easier to work with, hopefully, you know. So we're not out of the woods yet, really, with all of that. Not with a lot of things. See, with Uranus going back, see, this is actually a last stretch, if I might tell you and be a friend of yours and let you know. Do you feel it? Can you feel the kind of like having gone backwards a little bit, and you're experiencing the same stuff that you have been trying to pull up out of? Well, let alone the last 14 years, but it's just with Neptune, you know, it's been really difficult for the past 4 years. Going see if you're like me and you're affected by the late Pisces degrees, where that's where Neptune is heading off into. And yeah, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing how that, okay, so a lot of the stuff that I fell down and got victimized by, really is being turned into a scapegoat, where I'm being ghosted, and it's like, no, that's not love. I'm waiting for love in my life, and it's just not coming around because it ain't love, period. And we're still kind of looking at it, how people treat us, namely me, how I'm being treated, how it's like, no, I'm the one that seems to have a conscience here, and I'm being picked on because I have a conscience. They don't have a conscience, whoever they are. Could be anywhere from whoever it is that looks you up and down and just fucking automatically hates you. I've never experienced that until about 4 years or 5 years, with Neptune inching up to oppose my Venus. If you want to know what I've been going through, just try and look up that aspect. Transiting Neptune, particularly in Pisces, because that's where it's been for the last, like, I don't know, 14 years or so. I don't know the real amount of years that Neptune stays in a sign. I know it's up there with Pluto. It's a long time. So when it's aspecting, it's like you don't notice it, but then after a while, no, you do. You're like, fuck, what did I just go through, man? And so, but with Neptune, we can get our bearings straight. Believe it or not, it's the planet that rules confusion and deception. But when it's going backwards the way it is now, and for all of humanity, the way it's trying to reset into Aries, a big event is happening for all of humanity. I mean, we're talking about it could spark a civil war, but we say it's actually a world war, involving good and evil. As simple as that. This has happened before 165 years ago, with Neptune trying to go into Aries. But the thing that's different about it this time is that Saturn is next to Neptune, and it's doing a dance backwards and forth like this, and it's so weird that it's doing that. So what it does, though, it's going to teach us more. It's going to give it more structure. It's going to be less nebulous. It's going to, and Saturn is going to be less of a pain in the ass for people, that it can't really do a blind rule over humanity, not without having been dissolved by Neptune, and whatever is real being left standing and saying, no, this is the way that we will operate, in accordance to the truth and not to the tyrant. or the control system that can be very much the vibration of Saturn, but Neptune is there like giving it holy water or something. It's really a trip, and it's really, this is all of humanity is going through this thing. So, but see, it doesn't just all of a sudden magically turn into peaches and cream. No, we're going to look at like literally, it seems literally, but then figuratively, like a tsunami of this cleansing and purging. See, we've kind of been through it with the eclipse, which started the Pisces eclipse, and then we have the Virgonian blue moon, which is this last solar eclipse. And um, don't let those tyrants out there get the best of you. They are kind of rearing up when it's time of this cleanse, and it doesn't feel good for them. They do not like looking at themselves. I was trying to tell you about the broken mirror society, where no, it's just people are not mirroring back who they are to each other. Not the good parts. See, they don't really know how to celebrate the best of each other. So, and they're only celebrating the worst of each other. That's the warped mirror society. They don't know how to to keep the baby away from the and throw the bathwaters out and say, no, this is what I love about you, and start communicating what's worthwhile. If it's your association, if it's anything, really, you do it with yourself, and then hopefully you're doing it with other people. Otherwise, you're just a downer to be around. You're a spiral down. You're the Eeyore, right? It's easy to find that kind of shit going on out there, that populace that does nothing but doubt you. And I'm here to tell you, if you're at all feeling my words, then you do have a part in you, the Aries, that refuses to sit down for these fucking people. You refuse to even show them a negative emotion now. You know better after all this time now. You know better because see really what you were doing is where you're awkward. You don't know how to ask for help, and you were irritable and anger, right? You're just a little baby that you have emotions, and that's just the Aries part of us, is that we communicate through emotions. If you see that we're like feeling red-faced and angry, find out where the thorn is. Find out where the problem is. Try to be their friend. Try to be a space that kind of hovers around them and sees, well, what's going on with them? Oh, oh, she has an electric bill that's getting higher and higher, and she keeps pouring into this, and nobody gives her anything. Huh? Why is that happening for any of us? Why do you think you have to run so individually for that stuff when really you should ask for your freedom enough to be able to find out what you're supposed to do here so you can be of more use to not only yourself, but your children and everybody else, maybe have friends? Boy, the bill system and the money system, if it was their choice, they'd love to do the social distancing and just run from cradle to grave and hardly ask, what the fuck just happened? Because nobody gave a shit as far as the plan, your retirement, your Social Security, all of that stuff. Would you please somehow graduate up out of that, become a real human being, be present with each other, learn how to play, find out what you're playing with, find out how you play, really. If you're just a robot, which now I'm here to tell you, your narcissist indeed is AI. The narcissist is basically a machine, kind of robotic, right? They are AI. They are artificial intelligence until they wake up, until they become enlightened, until they become a human being. They are the AI, and we're pretty sure. See, it's 92% who are teetering on that. They don't know whether to join the machine or go and run with the pack of wild wolves over there. Really, it's the sheep that you want to find out, who are just sitting there going, nah, this food is tasting weird too. Why is it turning it out that way? And when I hear the word attacks, I know what that is. I'm not thinking about taxes. I'm saying attacks. Attacks is upon us. And sheeps know what that is. We're not imagining what that sounds like. Joke's on you, by the way. Don't get used to them attacks. Get used to the abundance. You know what abundance is, right? Abundance? Put the A up, put the B-U-N down, put a dance there. It's 3 words there, by the way. Take it apart when you're happy, when you do find something, really, when you really do, you do abundance, man. Your butt, I see it every day. My chickens have enough. Sun is out. They were let out of their cage. They have now some grass in front of them or some cabbage. And I look at them and I'm like, what up, babe? And they're like, they do abundance. They're like, their little fucking buns shake. And it just feels so good. My buns start to shake. So there we are, stuck in abundance.